Hey guys, Mark here. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a paracord hammer holder. This item will help you hold your hammer around your waist by attaching it onto your belt. It took me a bit of time to figure out a nice way of doing it, and I'm going to show you how I do it. So with that said, let's get into the supplies, then make our own. If we quickly cover the supplies, we're going to need 2 pieces of paracord. One is about 5 feet long and the other is about 7.5 feet. Optionally, you can use a lacing needle, which is going to make your job a bit easier. We're going to need something to cut the cords with, as well as a lighter. With these supplies ready, let's begin. The first part of the holder that we're going to make is this one. This one basically slides onto the belt and it keeps your hammer attached to the belt. It needs to be done fairly loosely so that it slides on and off freely. I gave you information of about 5 feet of cord for this part. This is enough for a belt that is about 1 inch and 3/8 wide. If you're going to use a wider belt, you're going to need a bit more cord. So let's do this part first. I'm going to take the shorter of my 2 cords, so this one is about 5 feet long, and I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to take my belt. I'm going to take my bite and place it under the belt. Then I'm going to take the 2 working ends and feed them through the bite. I want to keep everything loose because it's going to bulk up when we do our weaving. We're going to do a simple cobra weave here. So we start with the left end. We place it under the 2 middle cords, like this. Take the right end. Place it under the left end. Then take the right end, go over the top and into the loop on the left side. Like this, then tighten up. As mentioned, you will want to keep everything a bit loose because it's going to bulk up later. Then I'm going to continue with the right end. Feed it under the 2 middle cords. Take the left end. Place it under my right end. Then over the top and into the loop on the right side. Tighten up. Take your left end again. Place it under the 2 middle cords. Take your right end. Place it under your left end. Then with the right end, travel over the top and into the loop on the left side. Tighten up. And continue with the right cord. Place it under the 2 middle cords. Take the left end. Place it under the right end. Then over the top and into the loop on the right side. You can probably already see the pattern. All we're doing is alternating the left and right cord. So we do the left, then the right. Like this. Continue until you fill out this entire piece and come up to this top part here. At that point, we're going to do the part that's going to hold the hammer. After you line up a series of cobra knots and you come to the very top again, cut and melt the ends. At this point, the part for the belt is complete. We're now going to take our second cord, onto which I have attached a lacing needle. And again, remember, this cord is about 7.5 feet long. I'm going to use my cord to travel through the first of the cobra knots, like this. And I'm going to leave a little tail behind like this. I'm going to travel through the same cobra knot again, like this. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to travel with my working end in front of my cord. So basically what I get is a loop like this. Then I'm going to travel through the second cobra knot, going under my tail, through the second cobra knot, and again I'm going to make sure that I travel over my cord with my working end. Like this. Then I'm going to travel through the third cobra knot, again going under the tail, through the third cobra knot, and again make sure that you're traveling in front of your cord with your working end. Like this. So basically we created 3 loops. Now we're going to go through the bottom loop, top down. And this time, when going up, we're going to travel behind our cord with our working end. Like this. And again, through the top of the second loop. Again, make sure that you go behind the cord with your working end. Like this. And for the third time, top down. Make sure you go behind with your working end. And you have the 3 loops needed to make our conquistador braid. Now we're going to move down again. So start at the top loop, go through it. And remember that when you're traveling down, we're going in front of our cord with our working end. Like this. And again, through the loop, the second loop. Make sure that you're going in front of your cord with your working end. Like this. And for the third time. Make sure that you're going over the cord with your working end. And you have 3 loops that we can travel up on again. So we go through the first bottom loop. Make sure that you travel behind the cord. Like this. And again, through the second loop. And behind the cord with your working end. and for the third time. Through the loop, from the top down, behind the cord with your working end, like this. Then continue the same way, traveling down. Through the top loop, traveling in front of the cord, like we do always when traveling down. Then through the second loop, again in front of our cord. And through the third loop, traveling in front. Then up again, through the first bottom loop, and behind with our working end. Through the second loop, and behind with our working end. And the third loop at the top, again going behind with our working end. Like this. And we continue the same sequence going 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, until we get enough material so that we can begin closing at this side. So here is where we're going to place the hammer. This is going to wrap around the handle, and on the other side we're going to finish the same way that we started. Once you get a nice length that is going to be able to hold your hammer, we're going to finish on the other side. There are a ton of different ways that you can use in order to finish this braid. I'm going to just use a similar style that I used before. I'm going to start on this side, between my 2 cobra knots, and opposite to where I started on the other side. I'm going to travel under and through, like this, bringing everything together. I'm going to travel through the first loop at the top, that is, and again through the same space that goes between the first 2 cobra knots. So just like at the start, I went through the same hole twice. Now I'm going to go through the next of the loops. So the second one. Then in between the next 2 cobra knots. Like this. Then through the third loop. And in between the next 2 cobra knots. Like this. Then place my working end under the 3 loops that I just created. Pull the end through, and you are done. So guys, after you have cut and melted the last end, your hammer holder is complete. Slide it onto a belt. Place a hammer through it, and you're good to go. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that the result will serve you well. Thank you for joining me, and see ya next time.